Are you an introvert or an extrovert? It sounds like a simple question. Maybe you've already made up your mind. But what if you're wrong? What if you've been navigating the world under the wrong label this entire time? Or even better, what if the real answer isn't either or? Today, you're going to find out. And no, this isn't one of those shallow quizzes that asks if you like parties or books. This is different. The invite panic test. Imagine getting a last-minute text that says, "We're grabbing drinks, come join." And for a split second, your soul leaves your body. If your immediate reaction is to fake a dentist appointment, your introvert badge is shining. But if you're already halfway out the door with no socks on, you might be built for social chaos. Introverts like warning, like a 3-day heads up and emotional prep time. Extroverts, they treat spontaneity like a drug. Hit me with those random plans, baby. Psychologists call this a difference in energy orientation. Fancy words. Basically, introverts spend energy in social situations. Extroverts gain energy from them. And if your answer is, well, it depends on the day, congratulations. You might be a walking identity crisis called an ambivert. Either way, your response to an unexpected plan says more about you than your Myers-Briggs ever will. The post-party recovery time. Extroverts leave a party like they just leveled up in a video game. Introverts leave the same party like they were mugged by noise. If you need a 48-hour silence retreat after small talk with Chad from accounting, your nervous system probably doesn't enjoy overstimulation. And this isn't just being tired, this is, don't talk to me, don't look at me, I need to stare at a wall for 3 hours. Kind of tired. The science? Introverts have more sensitive dopamine receptors, so crowds, noise, and fast-paced environments hit harder. Extroverts, meanwhile, are understimulated by default. Social energy is like charging a dead phone. So if brunch feels like a sprint and not a stroll, your brain might be saying, recharge me or I'll delete all your contacts. The small talk spiral, small talk is a universal experience, but for introverts, it's a slow descent into madness. Oh, hey, how's the weather? It exists? If you've ever found yourself begging for someone to just skip the weather and tell you their childhood trauma already, welcome to Team Introvert. Introverts crave depth, meaning, layers, not surface-level ping-pong. Meanwhile, extroverts, small talk is foreplay. It's how they warm up to the main event. The psychology? It's not about being rude, it's about processing styles. Introverts need a reason to speak. Extroverts speak to find the reason. So next time you're stuck in a conversation about humidity and football scores, just know, your introverted brain isn't broken, it's just quietly dying inside. The social hangover. You ever feel hungover after a birthday dinner, but you didn't drink? That's not drama, that's a social hangover. You were surrounded by people, lights, conversation, overstimulation. You nodded a lot, smiled more than usual, maybe fake laughed 17 times. Now your body is screaming for solitude like it's an IV drip. This is a nervous system glitch. Introverts go into stimulus overload, and the brain basically files a complaint with HR. Extroverts, they leave the same event and text, let's do it again tomorrow. Introverts, they delete their calendar and stare into space like a traumatized cat. One person's fun is another person's fight-or-flight response. Welcome to the magic of neurodiversity. The talk or think first reflex. Here's a subtle but huge difference. When someone asks you a hard question, do you A. Start talking while you figure it out? B. Go silent for 10 seconds while your brain loads like an old computer? If you're team B, you're likely introverted. Introverts think first, then speak. Extroverts speak to think. This isn't about intelligence. It's about information processing. Introverts are internal processors. They prefer to organize thoughts quietly. Extroverts are external processors. They figure things out as they talk. So when you see someone hesitate before answering, they're not slow, they're editing. And when you see someone ramble for 8 minutes with no point in sight, they're not lost, they're brainstorming, out loud. Different operating systems, same chaos. Social jet lag. Introverts can get social jet lag, like actual physical fatigue, from long periods of interaction. After a busy weekend, they need solitude like oxygen. One group dinner can require 3 days of recovery. Meanwhile, extroverts are texting you the next morning like, let's hit the farmer's market and do brunch and maybe karaoke? And you're like, I just reinstalled my soul. Please give me a week. The weirdest part? Ambiverts often get both the high and the crash. So if you're exhausted and bored after too much social time, congrats, you're the most emotionally complex Pokemon in the room. Your brain wasn't built for constant engagement. It needs rest. Not just sleep, but psychological withdrawal. Which sounds dramatic, but hey, so is your nervous system. Dopamine drama. Here's what's wild. Introverts and extroverts actually have different dopamine reactions. Dopamine equals that feel-good buzz when something exciting happens. Extroverts have brains that love dopamine. They chase it. Crowds, laughter, motion, noise. Their reward system lights up like a Vegas slot machine. Introverts? They get overwhelmed by too much dopamine. They prefer acetylcholine, which rewards calm, focus, and introspection. So while one person's party is another's panic attack, it's not about personality. It's literally brain chemistry. Your party friend isn't more fun. You're not more boring. You're just running two different operating systems, like a Mac and a PC. Except both get viruses and one cries after group events. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.